Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mrs. Incredible.
Welcome to the membership breakfast. What? Too much? Too much, General? Too much? All right, well, listen, my family thinks I'm Mrs. Incredible, so there. Whew. All right. I wish I had a cape. You know what I mean? I just wish I did. Okay, welcome to your membership breakfast. This morning we celebrate the fact that CADCA is a membership-based organization, and you are all incredible. We're going to bring you a speaker that's going to contribute to your success. First, I'd like to introduce my membership team. Apparently, they missed the memo about the costumes, but that's okay. Elizabeth Newton, membership associate, is here, and Amy Pica, our membership manager. These folks are your membership hotline. Please call on them. We did a quick membership assessment in December, and thank you for the many that responded. What you told us was that you are a member of CADCA for several reasons. The number one reason was professional development, which is why we work so hard to bring you great speakers like the one you'll hear today. It also speaks to our National Coalition Academy and all the amazing training that we bring you throughout the year, the forum and our summer mid-year, which you know are second to none. And I know I'm not alone in my belief that Karima Abdullah has superpowers. Am I right? Right? Yeah. We value your advocacy, the fact that we're your voice here in Washington. We don't take that lightly. We take your concerns and your successes to the Hill all the time. Wonder Woman Sue Thaw is here. Wonder Woman Sue Thaw and her team. And they work for you every single day on Capitol Hill. Now, you're also a member because of the discounts and benefits that we bring to you, and we are always enhancing that area. We're going to bring you a ton of new resources that will be members only this year. And lastly, I know you stay in the CADCA family because we are a national voice for prevention. We are more committed than ever to tell your success stories and stress that primary prevention, people, is the best way to address the complex problems associated with alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs, and our opiate crisis. Primary prevention is the way. So, I'm starting to really sweat in this thing, okay? So let's get you back to some professional development, okay, as I bring you Andy Field. Andy is a true media guru. I first met Andy at a mid-year, actually, in 2010 when he provided some media training to some of us. I think he might have warned me never go out in front of a ballroom in a superhero costume. But he prepared us to take on some of the toughest issues of the day, including marijuana. So Andy has prepped our staff and some of our Coalition Advisory Committee members as well. As you can see from his bio in your program, he's got an incredible career with ABC News and his role as producer of his own company, Field Vision Productions, here to help us survive short attention span media. Please welcome our friend Andy Field.
Thank you, incredible woman.
Leave here.
That's a tough act to follow. Good morning, everyone. How are you? My friends from Rhode Island, where are you? There you are. Found all my Rhode Island friends out there. My name is Andy Field. Thank you for having me here today. You can see all these things. Where's the, oh, let's see. Can we get this on the screen, the short attention span? Somewhere up there, okay. So we're going to talk about short attention span media today. Got a question for you. What are the 3 biggest lies? Feel free to shout them out. Checks in the mail? I'll call you in the morning? I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Well, some of you are here from the government and you're here to help, so that's not right. Here's the biggest lie. I'm a reporter and I'm your best friend. Just talk to me for a little bit. Don't believe that lie. We're going to talk about surviving short attention span media. A lot of you want to get on the local news, on the national news, in the newspaper. But what you really want to do is go viral. You want to make sure, do these things work? Yeah, there we are. Hold on, let's go back one. Okay. We want to talk about the short attention span theater and how the media reacts to things here. How many of you watch CNN? Raise your hands. Fox News viewers, anyone? This isn't a Fox crowd. And MSNBC. The problem is that the media today has a very short attention span. If you've seen the movie Up, any of you big fans of the movie Up, you will recognize this. You want the audio up on that?
My name is Doug. I have just met you, and I love you. My master made me this collar. He is a good and smart master, and he made me this collar so that I may talk. Squirrel!
That dog is the media. And we are all looking for the next squirrel. I'm here to tell you how to be that squirrel. So we're going to talk about that today here. How many of you are here from Washington, D.C. or survived the snow for the last couple of weeks? Well, the Midwest just got hammered and Washington got hammered. I guarantee you that there's a lot of people in this room that saw this video. This guy is a comedian in New Jersey that no one ever heard of until Snowmageddon.
Gotta get the bread and milk. I 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 gotta get the bread. They said snow. I gotta get the bread and milk. Oh my God. I gotta get the bread and milk. I gotta get the bread and milk. Oh my God.
So we're going to talk about today getting your message out to the media. What was this guy's message? Got to get the bread and milk. Actually, that really wasn't his message. His message was, I'm a comedian and I want to get hired, and I thought of something really clever to do and put it on the internet and hopefully someone saw it. How many people do you think saw this video? Take a guess. 5 million? You guessed way too low. 14,771,911 people as of last night when I looked at the count on YouTube. 14 million people saw this guy's audition tape to be a comedian in your community. This guy has gotten calls from Hollywood, offers to do sitcoms, bookings all over the country because he did something with his iPhone. I want you to think about that when you're trying to get your message to the media, to think outside the box. Don't think I'm just going to be a spokesperson sitting there telling people how dangerous marijuana is, how dangerous these things are, how we have to get treatment, how we have to get prevention. You've got to think creatively to get your message out here. By the way, I'm going to brag a little bit. My daughter is a producer on a TV show called Modern Family. That show on a good night gets 10 million viewers. This guy beat him by 4 million viewers. So that shows you the power of viral videos here. Thank you, Snowmageddon. So we're going to talk today about telling your story. When you go to the media, when you get out there and try to do what you do and get the information out that is so vital to protecting the people in this country, especially the youth in this country, you have to have a message. If you don't have a message and someone says, I want to talk to you about drugs in this society, if you don't have a message you want to deliver, don't pick up that phone. Don't talk to these people until you have that message and you have it finally honed and you know exactly what you're going to say. The other important thing is your delivery. If I were to come up here today and put a lounge chair up, put my feet up and grab a Mai Tai and just sit there and go, hey, I'm really excited about my talk today, you wouldn't think I was that excited about it. You've got to hone your delivery, and there's a lot of skills involved, using your hands, your body language, your voice, your face, the vocal quality. All of these things go into honing your delivery. And of course, you've got to practice. All of you know your subjects cold, but a lot of you will not take the time to practice before you go and meet the media, and this is very important. So I want you to be like a Boy Scout and be prepared. When you're not prepared, this is what happens.
Never actually had makeup on. What's up? I'm happy for you. Hi.
Hi.
Where's Sam?
Washington.
Really?
These are your talking points. They were just faxed over. And Sam is on the line for you.
Oh, hey.
Hello, Mr. Harper.
Hey, Sam. How you doing? Nice talking to you. I thought you were gonna be here.
Me too. I hear it's beautiful out there.
Oh, that's the thing about.
Okay, Dick, we're on in 5.
Oh, yep, sure.
3, 2.
Today we're talking with the new VP of Communications at Global, Dick Harper. How you doing, Dick?
Just terrific, Sam. Thank you for asking. And so is Globodyne, by the way.
Now, Dick, tell me, what is the shareholder to make of the fact that Jack McAllister, your CEO, has unloaded a considerable share of his stocks?
I think CEOs sell their stocks for many reasons, Sam. Both professional and personal.
Actually, over the past year, Jack McAllister has sold 80% of his holdings through shell companies. How do you explain that?
The reasons for doing something like that would be, oh, losing you there. Hold on. Reasons for doing something like that would be, could be many.
There's also talk of some of the Globodyne portfolio documents being subpoenaed, specifically those of your CFO, Frank Basco. And now, joining us with his insights is presidential hopeful Ralph Nader.
Really? Hi, Ralph. Big fan, love your stuff.
I wish I could say the same, but I don't know how you sleep at night, sir. I believe that corporations like Globodyne pervert the American dream. They leverage our future so the super rich get richer. You are a disgrace.
Ralph, I don't know where you're getting your statistics. I can only say that, in my estimation, Globodyne is completely transparent, and we'd be more than willing to share any and all documentation.
That's a pretty good example of what happens when you don't prepare for the interview. And I want that to ever happen to any of you here. And a lot of us really think that we have all the facts on our side, so it's just going to go fine. It's not going to go fine unless you prepare. Let's talk about how you handle controversy. You have to know your critics' arguments. Marijuana legalization has been in the news now for the last couple of years. The folks who are against it have lost these battles in Colorado, in the Pacific Northwest, all across the country. The drumbeat has been for legalization without really this side making sure that people know how serious that is. So you got to know your critics' arguments, and you have to be able to come back against them here. Your best defense is a good offense. Don't be defensive, be offensive. You have to get out there, know your facts, and be on top of these things. Be proactive and jump in. You want to be courteous when you do this, have a sense of humor, and always get back on your message. This is a mantra. If any of you meditate, this is your You have to make sure that you are always on your message. And then you want to bridge from negative to positive. When people say, isn't it true that no one's ever died of a marijuana overdose? You don't want to say, no, that's not true, but you have to do this. You sound defensive. You want to be on the offense and always bridge to a positive. Now, this is something I played at one of the CADCA conferences a number of years ago. I don't even know if this gentleman's in the audience, and if he is, I apologize. But this is not a stunning example of how to make your argument. He's a scientist, and what I want you to look for here is not necessarily what they're talking about, but how they deliver their message. The person who is for legalization is confident, he owns the conversation. The person who's against it is a professor. He looks too relaxed. He's all over the place here. I want you to watch this and see who won this debate, despite the fact that you would probably agree with the guy who didn't do as well.
What are some of the uses of medical marijuana? Medical marijuana is great for muscle spasm, arthritis, pain, weight loss, loss of appetite, nausea, vomiting, and a host of disorders.
What is your stance? Where do you stand?
I'd like to see everyone who is ill have the opportunity to use this medicine.
So you think that medical marijuana should be legalized?
Absolutely.
Is that how you see it?
No. I'm a scientist and a healer. I treat patients, but I also do research. And I have to be guided by the data.
This is a medicine with a 5,000-year history that goes back to ancient China that's been used for these same uses for so long with literally no negative consequences. How could we possibly hold this back given all the data we have?
Is that true, Doc? I'm going to interrupt. Is that true? There are literally no negative consequences?
Absolutely not. That's an absurd statement without meaning to be disrespectful. But there's increasing evidence that marijuana, for example, brings on psychosis earlier. The more you use marijuana as an adolescent, the more likely you are.
All right, I'm going to stop this here because this goes on for quite some time. But when the guy says no negative consequences, he goes, well, I don't mean to be disrespectful. Your job is not to be respectful to the other side. Your job is to get in there and advocate for your message. You go, wait a minute, hold on a second here. No negative consequences? Let me talk about the train operator in California who was high on weed and smashed into another train here and killed 6 people. Let me talk about the increase in drug driving arrests in Colorado ever since they've legalized. Let me talk about the admissions to drug treatment centers ever since the legalization happened here. You guys have so many facts on your side, and you're not there to sit there and go, well, I don't want to hurt your feelings. All right? Thank you. You can applaud. So basically, the guy who was on your side lost me at a low. All right. How many of you have seen the movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off? This guy was this professor in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
In 1930, the Republican-controlled House of Representatives, in an effort to alleviate the effects of the, anyone? The Great Depression, passed the, anyone? A tariff bill, the Hawley-Smoot Tariff Act, which anyone raised or lowered? Raised tariffs in an effort to collect more revenue for the federal government. Did it work? Anyone? Anyone know the effects? Haven't seen this before? The Laffer curve. Anyone know what this says? On the revenue curve, you will get, this is very...
All right. I got a lot to go through here. I'd like to play all of that, but you can go back and rent the movie on Netflix here. Let's talk about the media landscape today. The media then and now. I have been at both ends of these here. I'm a TV reporter for ABC News and a radio reporter. I've been doing this for, 2-3 million years. And back when I started, this is what our camera crews looked like. We had a cameraman, a sound guy, a producer, a reporter, and we had all day to do one story. That went out the window a long time ago. Here's what reporters look like today. A woman with a selfie stick and a microphone. And I'm not kidding. This is really what it's like today. Even at ABC News, we have one-man bands doing this here. The economy and the economics of doing news has changed so dramatically. There's so much more competition. There is so much less money in it that reporters have no time to actually do reporting, which is why this is an amazing opportunity for you, because you can write the story for them. If you come in with all the facts, if you on your websites go out and have the forethought to put video of people taking drugs, people using Narcan, people in treatment, showing all the disasters, having a video B-roll handout thing that you have on your website, so that when a reporter calls, you can go, I got all your video for you right here. They will kiss you. They don't have time to do this anymore. and then you provide the spokesperson who's ready and you say, here's what I think's important. They will report that. They don't have any time to question you anymore. It's a sad state of journalism, but that is the way things are. And you have a good message to tell, so that's one of the reasons you have to be prepared for this here. Basically, the reporters are doing everything. They're doing, I did this over Christmas. I was up in New York, got up at 2 in the morning. I was doing live shots at 4 a.m., 4:30, 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m. Then I'd go out and do another story for noon, and then I'd repackage that for 5 and 6. Plus, they want me to tweet, put things on Facebook, put things on Instagram, and do live shots on Facebook with my camera. There's no time to do any of that stuff and do it well. But you can take advantage of that as an organization. So make their job easier. How does an audience react to you? We saw in that debate between the legalizer and the professor. They react to you in 3 different ways: the tone and quality of your voice, the words you use, and your body language. So, which part of this big pie chart, the biggest big part of the pie chart, do you think it is? We have a smart crowd here. Body language, 55% of how people perceive you is your body language. You haven't even opened your mouth yet. And then the tone and quality of your voice. You don't want to be the Bueller guy. And finally, the words you choose. Sorry. The words you choose are only 7% of how people react to you. Now, it doesn't mean that the words you choose aren't important. It means that you got to have all that other stuff working for you or it's working against you. So you want to FedEx your message, use your voice, punch certain words, vary the tone pitch. There's people old enough in this room who remember the original Federal Express commercials. Remember the guy who says, when you absolutely positively have to get it there overnight, he's talking really fast? Remember those commercials? The kids in this audience have no idea what I'm talking about. They go, FedEx, what's that? I use email. So you can use that for an effect. Pause. When you're talking to people, a lot of folks and ah their way through statements when they don't know what to say because they are so afraid of silence. So what was I going to say next? Just put a pause in there. People will think you're very thoughtful, they'll think you're smarter, and you won't sound like someone who doesn't know what they're talking about. Your body language, you talked about that, using gestures, your facial expressions, and your eye contact. So this is something, I've been using this for a long time. This is General Colin Powell. He is a master at doing interviews. I want you to watch this interview and watch what he does, and we're going to dissect it.
Dr. Mundy here at Garrison says to us, children come to us in the early grades, they're very bright, they're eager, they want to learn. But if we don't deliver, you see the light go out.
I've seen it everywhere, Sam. If we don't deliver, then all we're doing is developing farm teams for the jails we're building. All children are the same in those first few years, 5, 6 years of age, when they enter kindergarten or first grade. Their eyes are bright. They believe. They wonder. And if we don't build on that wonderment, if we don't give them a reason to continue believing, if we don't convince them and show them, demonstrate to them that they can be a success and we're going to give them the tools to be a success, the light will go out.
Dr. Mundy here at Garrison says...
All right. Let's dissect that very quickly. Was he passionate? Yes. Did he say, I'm passionate about this? No. How do you know he's passionate? You saw his eyes. They believe. They wonder. This is like an entire theater in a 15-second soundbite. He used great analogies. He goes, if we don't deliver, all we're doing is developing farm teams for the jails we're building. What a great line that is. He didn't just come up with that. He had people write that for him, or he came up with it, and he practiced it over and over and over again before he got on in front of that camera. And then he used a very good technique. He repeated something 3 times. If we don't do this, if we don't do this, if we don't do this, the light will go out. Another very effective technique when you're trying to deliver something. All right. This is Karen Tandy. She's a former DEA administrator. Karen had to give a speech in New York when they opened the DEA museum in New York City. And she had a very long speech, and there was a lot of media there. There were probably 24 cameras from various networks. And I looked at the speech and I said, you know, this is a little dull. But she had one line in there where she says, every person in this country writes a check for $1,500 for the war on drugs. I said, great, let's go to Kinko's and make a big check and hold it up. And she goes, oh, that's goofy. I don't want to do that. That's silly. I don't want to do that. I said, please do it. You will get in the papers and on TV. Nah, I don't want to do it. I said, go to Kinko's. So much fun ordering the DEA director around. So she did. Well, she sent someone to do it. She doesn't do that stuff. And she held it up, and I said, I guarantee you're going to get coverage of this. And watch how many cameras go off when she does this.
This is what every American family pays every year in a surtax for the cost of drugs, the billions of dollars that cost our society. It is a $1,500 check that you write for drug use in this country.
That is the only thing people took away from that speech. She spoke for a half hour. That's all they took away. That picture was in the paper. That little clip made it on the local newscasts. You got to get noticed. So using props and visuals is a great way to do it. Here's another example.
If you're a millionaire under the Bush tax cut, you get a $46,000 tax cut, more than enough to pay for this Lexus. But if you're a typical working person, you get $227, and that's enough to buy this muffler.
Effective? Pretty effective use of props. All right, now here's something you don't want to do. You don't want to wing it. I was joking today where people were asking me in the hall, they go, so what are you going to talk about? I go, I don't know, I'll come up with something. Believe me, I've been working on this for a couple of days. But this guy couldn't buy a clue. In fact, he couldn't buy a clue so badly, he doesn't work for the company anymore.
Sunday, BP's CEO apologized.
We're sorry. We're sorry for the massive disruption it's caused to their lives. And, you know, there's no one who wants this thing over more than I do. You know, I'd like my life back.
Yes, he destroyed the Gulf of Mexico and he'd like his life back. Well, guess what? Got his life back. Lost his job. You don't want to do that. Here's another guy. This happened recently. This was in West Virginia where a mining company basically polluted the rivers around Charleston so badly that they're not going to be able to drink from it for the next 10 years. Watch what this guy does. He's talking about polluting the water and he's busy quenching his thirst with bottled water the entire new. And he goes, you know, I've had a rough day. I got to go. Watch.
Look, guys, it has been an extremely long day. I'm having a hard trouble talking at the moment. I would appreciate it if we could wrap this thing up. I will.
We actually have a lot of questions, and it's been a long day for a lot of people who don't have water. So can you give us an exact timeline as to how this all happened? The DEP was saying earlier today as early as 8.
All right, this is very painful. I'm going to spare you most of this here. But I don't think this guy has his job either anymore. What you want to do is get a message that's very simple and boil it down. The next person you're going to see is a woman who consults lawyers to pick a jury. And when that woman does that, she has to pick the right jurors that their client's going to win. But even she thinks this is so risky that she doesn't advise anyone to go to trial. And she boiled this down to a very simple soundbite. And again, I guarantee you, she worked on this a long time.
We call the trial rolling the dice. How many people would go to Las Vegas and bet their life and their freedom on a roll of the dice, which is what a trial is?
You can steal that line. We call taking your first puff of marijuana rolling the dice. Not everyone has an addictive personality, but the people who do go on to harder drugs. We call taking those pain pills out of your parents' medicine cabinet rolling the dice. It's critical that we prevent that first pill from being popped or that first joint from being smoked. Because if you don't do that, spending all this money on rehabilitation and treatment isn't going to help save all the people that are dying of overdoses in this country. You know, we talked about the shiny object. Remember the Ebola scare a year and a half ago? One nurse got sick and the entire media went bananas. The president appointed a special envoy to deal with the problem. Fortunately, our medical people are really good in this country at NIH, and they were able to fix the problem really quick. But that's all people talked about. I just looked this up last night. In 2014, there were 20,000 opioid pill overdoses in this country. In 2014, there were 12,000 heroin overdoses. That's 34,000 people. One nurse. Everyone goes nuts. 34,000 people dead, not a peep. We have all got to do a better job of making the media get crazy about this too. All right? All right, I'm going to skip over this because I want to get to some things. Keeping reporters happy, this is really important. They're interested in things that are new and unusual, the shiny object. They love conflict and controversy. You want to be on the right side of that conflict and controversy. Winners and losers. They love people stories. Don't throw statistics at them. Talk about personal things that happen to people you know. And of course, the economy, what's in it for me? WII-FM, the radio station everyone likes to hear. What's in it for me? You want to have audience grabbers and ratings. All right, I want to talk about something very personal. This beautiful young girl is Margaret Hernandez. I think she was about 4 years old in this picture. Margaret's parents were smart, educated, still are, and they never in a million years thought that their child would have a drug problem. Margaret grew up to be a beautiful 25-year-old girl. She had leukemia when she was 15. She got with a bad crowd in high school, started smoking marijuana, got into heroin, and she died of a heroin overdose when she was 25. And she is the daughter of my wife. There are a lot of people who are dying of drugs. And that's why you guys are here today. So I want to do everything I can to help you get your message out to the media. And there are people that are doing really, really good work out there. I work with one of the organizations. It's the DEA Educational Foundation. And they have a program, and it's all about prevention. All about prevention. And I want to show you, I want to end with this here. And this is their organization. I want you to see how they touch the lives of these kids just by giving them something else to do after school beside drugs. This is what we do. Replacing drugs with dance. The DEA Youth Dance Program, showcased at a recent Lifetime Achievement Award in Los Angeles. The Educational Foundation, helping show students a better way.
People around my age, this is when they start to fall out into those things.
Even some of your friends will be like, hey, wanna get on the phone, like, hey, wanna come to the club and get drunk and vandalize stuff. And really, no, like, cause I don't do that. Like, I've got a dance recital to go to.
Our foundation honoring the men and women funding these dance programs in more than 30 cities across the nation. And the foundation's work getting recognized far beyond the classroom.
The DEA Youth Dance Program is now in cities nationwide.
DEA is like my home away from home. I just love DEA. My wonderful dance instructor, Miss Stephanie Reeds, teaches us more than dance. She also teaches us respect and discipline.
And the DEA Educational Foundation is about so much more than hip-hopping away from drugs.
This is how several million Americans know the DEA Educational Foundation.
I didn't know that. Like how young they were when they died. It's like crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. If it's just one student, then we've done our job here. And I mean that sincerely, just one. If we can save one kid and show them that it's a better way, then this program is a success.
Every Tuesday when I have dance, I come to school in the morning, I've got a big smile on my face, and I'm like, yes, I get to go see my friends at DEA dance after school and dance and have fun. And like, I've got a big smile on my face for every Tuesday, like, just makes my day.
Your job is to make that little girl's day every day, and girls like her all over the country. So I want to thank you for having me here today. I just gave you a little bit of what media coaching is all about. It involves a lot of practice, a lot of on-camera work, a lot of coming up with a strategy to know what sound bites to deliver and how to use the media properly. I do this for a living, and I'm happy to help you. I can't hand out 1,000 cards here, but if anyone wants to get in touch with me, here's how to do it. Write it down. Feel free to get in touch with me. I'd be happy to help you out. Thank you so much for having me today, and I really appreciate all the work you're doing.
All right, wasn't he fantastic? I know you're all disappointed that I'm back to mild-mannered Mel again. But look, people, I have to facilitate a training session in just a few minutes, and I don't want to overshine their spotlight. As we close, I do have one very important activity, which is to announce the Ideas Fair winners. And I have a supporting cast member who's going to come and join me. I don't know where Julian is right this minute, but I'm sure he'll be here any moment. Great. The Ideas Fair, wasn't it fantastic? Did you visit the Ideas Fair? Some of our most innovative ideas. The Ideas Fair gives coalitions and community organizations the opportunity to present groundbreaking prevention research, science, and techniques. Additionally, the Ideas Fair provides a diverse outlook on emerging trends occurring nationwide. Each year, CADCA offers 2 innovation awards to posters that provided an outstanding, comprehensive approach to solving a community problem. And the winners are, thank you, sir. For innovation, start with number 1. All right. Drama, right? Do you like it? The Innovation Award winner is Advocating for Success, the Making of State Law in Many Easy Steps. Woo-woo! Congratulations. All of our winners are going to be sent a $75 Visa gift card, so yay. Second winner for innovation. Are you feeling the tension? I am. Drum roll, please. Thank you, my colleagues. Innovation Award winner is Making an Impression. That's what we're all about. Let's hear it for the poster, Making an Impression. Now, Julian, they voted, our people voted, right? The votes are in. The people have been heard. And the People's Choice Award, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I can't do it. You do it. It's so much tension in the room. Come on, Julie. People's Choice Award winner is The Big Picture of Prevention, Enhancing Youth-Led Messaging Through Innovative Mediums. All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Excellent. All right. Now, we're just getting started. Are you guys excited for your last day of the forum? There is so much more to happen today. It's awesome. We've had amazing sessions. Have you enjoyed your training sessions thus far? We have incredible sessions, 3 more blocks of time where you get great training here at the Forum. Only one training is not available to you. One of our trainers who was doing a rural health session lost her voice. She was out there doing the work and she lost her voice. So the rural health session, which was to be at 2:45 today, will not happen, but her slides will all be available to you on the app. So only one cancellation. That's pretty good. Now, are you feeling incredible? All right. You guys are superstars. We're going to have a great final day, and we want to see all of you back in this ballroom for the incredible, awesome awards luncheon. Thank you, and thank you for your membership.